श्री श्री राधा गोविंद देशमन महाप्रभु की, श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की, श्री श्री गौर निताय की, श्री ल प्रभुपाद की, समावेत गौर भक्त वृंद की, कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्भागवतम की। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयं उदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। So, the spiritual world is a very beautiful home of the Jiva and the Supreme Lord. And there is only one rule there in the spiritual world. The rule is love. And there is only one prohibition there, which is envy. So, if you are free from envy and we have a naturally flowing love towards the Supreme Lord, then you are a fit candidate to stay there. Otherwise, the Jiva is tatastha, which means he always has the freedom to align with the Lord and be with Him or be away from the Lord and be separated from Him. Some disciples even asked Prabhupada, even after we go back, is there a possibility of coming back to this world? Prabhupada says, Yad gatva nani vartante tadnama paramam. Krishna says that. Nevertheless, the free will is never taken away, Prabhupada says. Free will is always there. But because just like a child who has touched the fire will not want to touch it for the second time. Huh? Similarly, once a jiva has seen the material world, he will not want to return back to material world to be roasted in the fire of samsara. So once bitten, twice shy, we say in English, isn't it? So love is the law there, and envy is the prohibition there. So everything else is subordinate. For example, once Jadrani Mataji was doing a drawing, and then she wanted to put it on the wall. So she was climbing on Prabhupada's Vyasasana and putting it. So some devotees told her that, hey, how can you put your feet in the Acharya's Vyasasana? It's offensive. So she said, but how can I put it on the wall? They said, you should use something else for climbing up. Anyway, later on when Prabhupada returned in the evening, Chandra Mataji told Prabhupada, I offended you by, climbing on your Vyasasana. Some devotees told me it's wrong. We should not put our feet on that. Prabhupada said, oh, you are putting it on the wall, Krishna's picture. For Krishna's service, you can climb on my head also. He said, no problem. He said, so what Prabhupada meant was that offense is not taken as offense. If the intention is to serve the Lord or there is a great attraction for the Lord. You all know the pastime of old Orisan lady climbing on the Garuda Stamba with one leg and one other leg on Lord Chaitanya's shoulder. She was taking darshan of Jagannath. So, with great eagerness, it was a very crowded day. So, Lord Chaitanya told Govinda, just see her eagerness to take darshan of Jagannath. I wish I had such eagerness. Although apparently she was offending Lord and the devotee, Lord and his devotee, your devotee simultaneously, because there was no offensive attitude in her. So the point is the spiritual world, it's not that there are too many rules and regulations. Sometimes when boys, come from the first year end, the third semester, they join us, the boys. So in those days, our devotees had made 32 rules. What you have to follow in the voice. You have to get up in the morning, Mahamatra writing. You have to come late. Correct now. You have to have a Hare Krishna cut. You should not have long flowing hair like a hippie. You should have Hare Krishna cut. You wear dhoti kurta. So many rules were there. One boy was shocked with the rules. He said, what is this probably? Rule for everything. Even for sniffing and coughing also. Rule. You got to till frightened. So then his senior told him, Prabhu, all these rules are not necessary for you. If you naturally follow everything, you don't have to show you the rules. Generally, the rules have to be shown for those who don't follow, correct? No? Like people who put on the road, don't drink and drive every time. So that instruction is for whom? Yeah, correct. So if you don't drink at all, that rule is not for you. You are already following the rule, correct? No? Yeah. So the rules are ultimately for our good only. This one. Never use mobile while walking. Okay. Yeah. That's why the rule is said, don't use. So why this rule is there, don't see the mobile while you are on the road. This kind of accident can take place. It's for who's good? Our good only. So one should not become put off by the rules. So, because Prabhupada said, spiritual world is like fire. If you want to enter the fire, you should have a fiery body. Similarly, spiritual world is the purest of the pure place. Arjuna says, no, Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, he says, you are supremely pure. So to dance with the supremely pure Lord, we also have to be pure. And the purity comes, the early stage of purity is Sattva Guna. Because from Sattva, we have to go to Vishuddha Sattva, which is supremely pure. So, but for coming to Sattva Guna, we have to emphasize on cleanliness. We have to emphasize on sleeping early, getting up early in the morning, taking part, wearing fresh clothes. Our general tendency in the material world is conditioned souls are lethargic and lazy to wash the clothes. Some boys wear the same jeans for 6 months until their friends tell them your jeans are stinking. Then only they will wash. So, but here, our culture is clean culture. Every day you wear a fresh dress. You eat fresh food offered to Krishna and immediately taken prasad. Now you keep your mouth clean by speaking proper words. You keep your dress clean by washing. You keep your room clean by sweeping and mopping, isn't it? You keep your money clean by giving charity, isn't it? So you keep your body clean by bathing. You keep your mind clean by chanting the holy name. So you clean up your speculations in your intelligence by studying Shastra. So in this way, we have to clean up ourselves. So the rules are all for our good. At the same time, when we come to this world, we have some amount of naughty nature. Otherwise, why are we here? Correct, no? Some amount of naughty nature is there. 4 defects. What are they? Imperfect senses, committing mistakes, illusion, and getting propensity. So, because these propensities are not good for us, once you become very perfectly practicing devotee, you come in Guru Parampara properly, then you become free from 4 defects in a liberated platform. Right now we are not liberated. So we have these propensities. In order to curb these propensities and keep them under control, the rules and regulations are required in this world. Correct, no? Like a child doesn't want to go to school, the mother has to sometimes cajole the child. Sometimes she has to scold the child. Sometimes the mother has to, warn the child. Correct, no? So there are 4 types of parenting. I'll just show you. You can see everybody? You all can see? That's why they can't see, I think. How? This can be, is there something you can keep like this? Is it possible? Screen? Yeah. Curtain is there? Yeah. How these devotees can see? You can come behind. Yeah, you all can come this side. You all can come little bit this side. Little bit. Go inside near the altar. Can move that side. Yeah. Allow more devotees come. You all can from this side of Prabhupada, you all can come this side. Because this is very important. My whole presentation is based on PPT today. Otherwise, you will just nod the head, you won't understand. It's going to be based on. You are able to see? You all can come this side. You can see? You can see? You can see. Okay. See, 4 types of parents, you see. Who are they? Neglectful, permissive, authoritarian, authoritative. So here is a mother, her eyes are fixed on laptop and she is feeding the food, but child is eating lollipop, see. That means neglectful. These type of leaders, they tend to flee the responsibilities. They are busy with their own professional life, consumed with their own problems, you see. No discipline, no love. Neither do they discipline, nor do they. They are in their own world. There are parents like that. There are parents having their own activities. Children come to home or go to school, nobody to care for them. Neglectful parents, completely. So do you think these children can grow well? Absolutely. Neither did they get love, nor did they get guidance or direction in life. See here, this is another type of neglectful parent who are quarreling. When the parents quarrel, who suffers? Children suffer. So children actually get bewildered, confused, seeing the parents fighting. Then the child doesn't like the home. Child thinks home is a place of war. So better I remain in the school only. And these children, they hope and pray that I quit the home as soon as possible. I go somewhere else. Because at home there is always quarrel. So in this way, not only some parents neglect, some parents set a bad example. That is also one kind of neglect. Because they don't care what the child is absorbing. They quarrel. Similarly, in our centers also, those who are in leadership position, some leaders, they are neglectful. For example, they don't see the studies of the boys. Then the boys' academic score goes down. And then the study chart is all 0, 0, 0, not filled up. And the result is boys lose the enthusiasm because parents are yelling at them. They are also worried about the job, future and everything. Then the preaching also goes down. These things have happened in many places. Or there may be a bad cook who may not be able to cook very tasty prasad. Some cooks have a fragrant hand. As soon as the prasad comes out of the kitchen, come. Smell is coming. All the boys can take their plates and come running. Correct, no? Some cooks have that knack. How to exactly make. I don't know whether it is teachable. But some people have that knack. If you have it, you have it. And the other cooks, they may make the prasad and keep it, okay, but we can't have it. And you may eat it, chapati, sabji, rice, dal. It's like mediocre. Right? Some people even make rice dal also very attractive. Dal also. Fragrant. Gaurang Prabhu was my roommate in Pune. So I used to make simple khichdi every morning. He said, what is this? This is not like. He brought big vessels and made dal, sabji. When it would come out of the kitchen, kama, smell will come. Fragrant. Chapati will be full ka chapati. So that means you care for the inmates to give them best prasad possible. You give them the best academic facility for studying and everything possible. Yeah. And also you make sure that they are able to tackle their atheistic friends and trouble giving, atheistic relatives and all. Guide them, mentor them, be available for them, understand them. Then you are not neglectful. So the more the attention is paid to all levels of help, for example, somebody has philosophical doubts, clarify the doubts. Somebody needs help in some subject, connect him to some senior who can help him. Somebody is emotionally down because somebody has passed away in the family, pacify them, give some time for them. Somebody is worried about academics. In this way, everybody who is coming in has some. So that means the leader should not be neglectful. Permissive parent means they love the children very much, but their problem is they fear that if I don't give lenience to children, their love for me will become stunted. They fear that. So then the child takes the upper hand. Child says, Mama, give me 500 rupees. And she's giving now. Whatever the child says. So they are controlled by the child. So this is like Dhritarashtra. Controlled by? Yeah. This one, the previous parent, this is like Uttanapad. Neglectful parents. Son is going to forest at 5 years, no problems. For him, he's attached to his own wife, Suruchi. Uttanapad is neglectful parent. And Dhritarashtra is permissive. Too much lenient. Like, for example, he went and told Duryodhana, Beta, gambling is not good. Vidura is saying gambling is not good, you should not do it. If you don't allow me, Papa, to do gambling, then I will consume poison and die, he said. And Dhritarashtra came to Vidura and said, my son is saying like this. Vidura said, very good. Let him go away. He will not do it, don't worry. But Dhritarashtra was always attached to his son. Therefore, he spoiled him. Whole dynasty was destroyed. Correct, no? And see, they have no clear understanding that's given on what to do, what not to do. Another form of neglect. This is also neglectful parents. That means either parents are fighting, children are neglected. Our parents are thinking they don't know, no clue on how to guide the children, or parent the children. Children are fighting, they leave them. That is also neglectful, correct? No? So this is also, I think this slide should be put here before. This also counts in neglectful, correct? No? And this is the third one, which is authoritarian parents. Do it because I am telling you to do it. Huh? This is authoritarian. Hiranyakashipu. Huh? Hiranyakashipu was like that. Correct, no? They often fight with their kids and motivate by threats and punishment. Most parents fall into this category. So here is a teenage girl and the mother is yelling into her ears. They're called authoritarian parents. So when generally why authoritarian parents raise their tone, see, she is very nearby only. She doesn't have to speak so loud. Correct, no? Because their hearts are distanced. Therefore, she has to raise her tone. मैं बोलता हूँ सुनो क्या करेंगे ना सुन तो रहा हो is right next to you only, but why they speak like that? Because they know very well that although I am saying it, this person is not agreeing. Correct, no? When agreement is not there, then one has to raise the that's why Hiranyakashipu had to raise the voice. Authoritarian parents and authoritative parents. This is the most ideal, where now the mother is telling the son, Beta, you want to play 5 to 6, 1 hour I am allowing you. You can play. After 6, you should come back and do your homework. Okay, she's telling. And the son is saying, okay, mama, but 5 to 6, you can't disturb me. He is also telling mother. So both are showing finger. Correct? That means the agreement. So she agrees to bend herself to him, and he is agreeing to bend himself to his mother. So both are having a very good agreement, which means the parents guide the children by listening to their needs well. In this world, most of the quarrels are because we don't listen well. Therefore, it is said, listen well, that people will want to hear from you. Hear well, that when you speak well, then people will listen to you. When you hear well, then they'll be able to open their heart to you. Just like in the entire first chapter, Arjuna, was going on speaking. Did Krishna speak a word? Only in 2.7, Arjuna surrendered. Then Krishna instructed. That means Krishna has a simple policy. Unless someone hires you, don't give advice. Correct, no? He doesn't give advice. Unless someone hires you. So Krishna is a good listener. So he listened so well. After that, Arjuna heard the whole Gita. Krishna had to hear only one chapter. Arjuna heard 17 chapters. Because Krishna had heard well. You see, once 2 people came quarreling to our manager and said, Prabhuji, this fellow did this. So A and B had quarreled. So first A came and complained about B to the manager, and A went away. Now when B came to manager said, already A has told the whole thing, no problem. You don't have to repeat it. I know what happened. So is B convinced? No. Why B is not convinced? Anybody knows? A might have manipulated, or A has given his version of the truth. Now B says, you hear whose version? My version. Only when you hear my version, and then only the loop is complete. Otherwise, you will have a one-sided understanding. But some managers don't know how to solve a problem. They say, "Arey, समय नहीं है मेरे पास. जो बोलना वो बोलते वही बोलने वाले तुम भी." Again and again, you are going to repeat the same thing. समय की बर्बाद मत करो. मैं जो बोलता हूँ करो. Then they will say that you are doing pakshapat. You are taking his side. So what I generally do, when A comes to tell me, I will tell him, no, you write and give, don't tell me. He writes and gives. B comes to me and says, no, you also write and give. I go through both of them and I highlight. With my highlighter, I highlight. And I call A separately and show him, is this what you want to say? He says, yes. B, is this what you want to say? Yes. Now both of you come now. And we solve. And both are satisfied. Correct, no? You have to hear. Authoritative parents means polite and bold. Firm. Polite and firm. Bold and sensitive. Courageous and considerate. You have to blend these two opposite qualities. then you are a authoritative parent. So you will see the authoritative parents actually like Rishabhadev. Huh? Rishabhadev is giving affection to his sons, but then one day he put them all sitting together and gave Upadesh also. Nayam deho, dehabhajam triloke, kashtan, kaman, arhat, correct, no? So he gave advice to 100 sons, which is a very ideal example of authoritative parent. जब क्लास सुनना है बेटा कब सुनाने का, then they have to play, they can play. So authoritative parents. See, they set consistent logical limits and are ready to enforce them. For example, okay, beta, you want to use mobile, it's all right. But in a day, you can use only 1 hour. And you decide what video games you want to play. But after 1 hour, it will be taken back because you have to do your studies. In UK, the mobiles are banned in the schools and colleges. How many of you know that? You heard that? There's a video. You can go to Google and find out. In UK schools and colleges, they have banned mobile. When you go inside the college, at the entrance, you're deposited. If anybody sneaks in with a mobile, if it is found, it will be confiscated. You know that? They have very strict rule. Because they say that the mobiles are distracting the children from studying. So, in the same manner, the ideal parent not only makes the rules, but takes time out to explain the rules also to the children. But why I made this rule? It's for your good only. If you want me to tweak the rule a little bit this way, that way I can do it. But you tell me what's wrong with this rule. Like, for example, when we have made in our Pune temple, 10 feedback emails we have made. Feedback 1, feedback 2, feedback 3, up to feedback 10. Any damn person can write mail. Any brahmachari can go to our lab, computer lab, and write a feedback mail. Nobody will come to know who wrote that feedback. Sometimes the feedback they give 2, 3 pages also. And I would insert answers in between when he asks. Sometimes I would connect 8, 10 devotees in the feedback. This feedback has come. All of you can repeat. So if it is about a particular department, then like one fellow wrote, प्रभु जी चपाती लिमिटेड कर दिया है किचन में, अच्छा नहीं लगता हमको, अनलिमिटेड होना चाहिए. So that was the time when NVCC we had newly come. Immediately kitchen everyone became angry. Who is that telling us? सामने आओ आप. I told them in the feedback, see, he's afraid to come in the front because he'll be scolded. That is why he's giving feedback. From back he's giving feeding. He's not coming in the front. If he comes in the front, you will scold him. So I said, instead of becoming angry on him, you give an answer. Why did you limit the chapatis? Then they said, Prabhu, just now we have come here and kitchen has to be set up. We have so many problems. And then I write it down. Telling Prabhu this one too. Why are we answerable to him? We are managers and these chup chop jo bola follow kara. I said, that is not what I like. It's not good. Give reasoning. Why am I saying what I am saying? So then he wrote 4 or 5 points. Then I wrote that fellow, see Prabhu, these are the problems, practical problems they have. If you also come to kitchen and help them, it will all be set it up, everything. Within a week, there will be unlimited chapati. And immediately replied, thank you, Prabhuji, Hari Bo. So he got an answer. So when you make a rule, give an explanation. Then another feedback came. Prabhu, in our Govindas, one cake is in the showcase for last 15 days. I am afraid that anybody eats it will get health issues. They have to keep only fresh ones. Then immediately I add Govindas people in the feedback. Hi, who is that? Aja Bahar. Do you know how much struggle people do in Govindas to run the Govinda? तुम हेल्प करने के लिए नहीं आता, feedback देता है. See, any department you give a feedback, people become angry with you. Then I told them, see, Prabhu, don't become angry on the feedback fellow. Think whether is there any element of truth in what he's saying. If we have a scope to improve, we should look at that improvement rather than become upset with people who are giving feedback. Then they said, no, Prabhu, we don't keep for more than 4 or 5 days. Then you write. And I even said, you can even put a date. This is the date it was made. And you keep it there 4 or 5 days and then you sell it away. Otherwise, don't keep it for too long. Correct? It has to be fresh. So Nowadays, in our temple, the open culture, what to speak of in our temple? There are companies like Motorola, Honda company and all, they have a listen, speak up and ask culture. Huh? Anybody can take one paper and write your feedback and stick it on the wall. They have a office where you can stick and go. You don't have to put your name also. Huh? You can just, feedback can be given, even in companies also. Huh? So companies are appreciating honest and open and constructive feedback. Why should we be very afraid? Correct, no? So that's what he's saying. The good leaders means they set consistent logical limits and are ready to enforce them. They tell them why these life limits are set. Like, for example, I have made a policy in Pune, brahmacharis cannot have WhatsApp in the mobile. They can have only in the computer. How many mails? 3 dozen mails have come to me pushing, why without WhatsApp in the mobile, life cannot go on. And I took trouble to answer all of them because I also take help of the Madan Sundar Prabhu and Antardip Prabhu and all to answer. Some devotees, Radheshyam Prabhu, itna aapko tang kar rahe hain log. Itna so many mails are coming. Better you just सबको मोबाइल में दे दो, छोड़ दो, जिनका जो करना है छोड़ो. I said no. I will take the trouble to answer why 3 dozen, even 10 dozen mails also I reply. Because we want to protect them. Once it comes in the mobile, then they will be spending too much time with it. Therefore, we have kept it in the computer. This is why being a leader is a very difficult job. It's a thankless task being a manager, being a leader. Because you have to give explanation, why am I doing what I am doing? Then only people will be happy that one thing in our temple, people know that I am a very strict man, lot of rules I make. But as many rules as I have made, more than that I give explanation. They know it. प्रभु जी जो भी करते हैं कुछ तो कारण होता है. Here the reason why he does what he does. People have asked also. And then, therefore, a good leader means you should be willing to spend time explaining reasons why we have set the limits. And we have to teach them. Why we have to teach them? Because tomorrow they will know how to make good decisions on their own. Correct, no? You are not only blindly telling them to follow. You are also telling them, why am I telling you to follow this? It's good for you. Correct, no? Like, for example, once His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj was telling one senior devotee that when you are sitting in the car in the front seat, you have to put the seat belt. Now, in India, people put it from behind like this so that the machine will not make noise. Correct, no? See, the purpose is defeated. Simply cheating the machine is not the goal, because in case there is an accident, your face will be smashed against the glass window. Correct, no? And many people died also. So Maharaj spoke almost half an hour importance of putting the belt. He said it's very important, especially when you're going in a high-speed car, in a highway. Correct, no? Somebody was telling Maharaj, why it's such an important thing? He said, you don't know how many accidents have taken place in America not putting the belt. Yeah? So therefore, you should be willing to explain why. Yeah. See, these are the qualities of authoritative parents. Who has the mic with you? One more mic. Only one mic is there, huh?
Here it is.
Yeah.
Qualities of authoritative parents show a balance of love and discipline. When setting limits of requiring specific behavior, they take the effort to explain why. They are consistent in dealing with their children and they teach by example.
Yeah. You see, discipline should not cause distrust and distancing between the people. The whole idea of discipline is what? To bring about something good. Like we should know when to bend the discipline sometimes. Like for example, say somebody's parents have come here. Now the boy is taking them here and there. From early morning only they want to go somewhere. And then he comes back in the night, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Now his 10 rounds are remaining. He has to chant, and the parents are going for some other work. So now he is getting time. 9 to 11 he has to chant now. Correct now? So he's chanting 9 to 11. And then he has some exam to study tomorrow. Another 1 hour he studied, and 12 o'clock, 12:30 he is going to sleep. So next day morning, he may not be able to come for the morning program, 4 o'clock. Correct, no? Naturally. So Then one has to know, at that time you bend the rule. You say that your parents are here for 2-3 days. All day you are super busy and your even basic spiritual life is becoming challenging for you. Something can be bent at that time. When we have to bend the rule, one should know. Because when we blindly, flatly apply the rule without knowing when to bend, then it causes irritation and heat in the relationship with the management like that. So, uh, similarly, you say that, Prabhuji, I have examination today. I cannot do this service. But Prabhu, here is a table. Schedule shows that your name is there. If you say, is it correct or not? See, somebody is supposed to do, say chapati rolling, you are supposed to do. You say, Prabhuji, today I have examination, I cannot do. You say, Prabhuji, your name is here for rolling chapatis. Is it correct or not? No, it's correct. It's technically right, but practically wrong. Technically correct. And it's practically wrong. Why is practically wrong? Because this boy is now worried about his exam today. So what you can say, okay, Prabhu, but it is your responsibility to do chapati today. Can you get a alternative in your place? You see, swap with somebody. So you do chapati making tomorrow. Tomorrow's fellow can do today. So he will say, okay, Prabhu, I agree. I said, no, you may agree, but you only have to request somebody because it is whose responsibility? Yeah. Because if you tell the manager, I agree, but manager has to go and convince that fellow. So you have to swap. Even in, you will find any person staying as a tenant, anywhere. You want to leave that place prematurely. I mean, instead of 6 months, you want to leave in 4 months. What the owner says, get a substitute, replacement. If you give replacement, they have no problem because he gets the money. So what is his concern? Money. Whether you stay, somebody stays, he has no problem. But he has to get his. So that we have to understand his intention. Similarly, Prabhuji, I have exam today, Prabhuji, I can't roll chapati, but I have arranged a substitute, Prabhu, with whom I will swap. Is it all right? Which manager will say no? Because for him, what is the concern? Service, that's happening now. So both should be reasonable. The manager should not say, no. Your name is in schedule, आपको ही करना पड़ेगा. Exam को भूल जाओ आज. He will say, what kind of man? Correct, no? He's an unreasonable fellow, you say. On the other hand, subordinate also should not say, प्रभु जी मुझे एग्जाम है, आज चपाती नहीं करना, मुझे पीछे मत पड़िए, टेंशन हो रहा है मुझे. चपाती को कैंसिल कर दीजिए आज. Either if he says, is he proper? That means both parties can be unreasonable. Correct, no? So wherever there are unreasonable authority or subordinates, there we face problems. No? Like there was one subordinate, his name will be in many schedules, but he will always keep 2 rounds. And any time manager was, 2 rounds. As soon as manager comes, he'll put his bid bag in the neck. 2 rounds. Afternoon, you go 2 rounds. Night, just before sleeping also, in the bed, he will sit and chant and go to sleep. And he won't do any service. Very unreasonable fellows, correct, no? So therefore, don't be unreasonable subordinate or don't be a foolish authority also. So set limits and explain the reason why, and also consistent in dealing and teach by example. This is another very important thing. Teaching by example is very important. Like for example, one manager was telling me, Prabhuji, in our voice, nobody sits and chants in temple hall. सब चले जाते हैं. I was surprised why. So another time when I had gone, I saw that I was chanting and nobody was there in temple hall. And people had gone to room and one by one slowly they were coming. Then I found some 3-4 of the managers, they were having a meeting in another room regarding preaching in the evening and everything. And that meeting went for about 45 minutes during the chanting time. So then the boys also see that no seniors are there. So what they do? They faithfully will follow it. They will also go to their room. They see that seniors are not there, so they also go away. Then I told the brahmacharis also that, Prabhus, if they see you serious in chanting, then they also have a likelihood that they will also want to sit and chant, correct? No? So setting an example is a very important thing for seniors. Whatever you want the juniors to do, you have to show the example. Showing example is more important than speaking it also. Yeah. Okay, this is scripture I told you, right? Uttana Padritrashta Hiranyakashipu Purushapate. I told you. Yeah, this is the essence of leadership. Balance between love and discipline. Emphasize principles, but not details or preferences. Always emphasize the principles based on which the rules are made, policies are made. Explain. Huh? See, Krishna consciousness is an inclusive philosophy. We need compassion without compromise. At the same time, you need a balance of sacrifice and self-care. Huh? See, on the left side, I have shown overly rigid application of Krishna consciousness. People are obsessed by rules, crushing the practitioners, including the bhakti seed also. False ego leading to Vaishnava aparad and fall down. It happens in some places. A fanatical application of rules can put off the people. Huh? And people get, instead of Vaishnavas having sweet relations, they see each other with irritation. Then what cannot happen? Preeti Lakshanam cannot happen in such a place. On the right side, overly relaxed liberal application, compromising on rules in the name of so-called compassion. And then what happens? The material attachment increases. The karma karma bijas don't get crushed. They don't get cleaned up. Then it leads to deviation from Krishna conscious philosophy. And people become dila dala, weak also. So which is good, left side or right side? Both are bad. So overly rigid is bad and overly lenient is bad. We need a combination of some amount of strictness, some amount of lenience. And we should know when to be lenient and when to be strict. One has to have that common sense. Yeah. Like for example, once in one of the centers there was a camp, in the Sankalp camp, then there was a Ganesh Chaturthi holiday scheme. Then they took all the inmates for one yatra, outdoor yatra they went. Then they came back, and the following week the preacher said, Prabhus, I took you all for a yatra last week so that you will help us with preaching this week. Now we all have to go to hostel and bring the Bible. They said, but Prabhuji, when will you study? 1 week went in Sankalp camp and this week went in, you took us for yatra also outdoor. And now 3rd week you are telling go to call the boys. Then when will you do our studies? Preacher said, that you have to find out time somehow. But somehow how will we get time? So then he asked me, Prabhuji, मैं क्या करूं कुछ मैं गलत क्या बताइए? Then I told him, see, 4 days you took for yatra, you could have made it just 2 days. And 2 days they could have come back and studied. And then you send them next week for preaching. They'll happily go. Because 2 days, 10th and above they studied. As soon as I said this, next week he said, this week we are going to study 36 hours. क्योंकि इतने अनेक महीनों से आप लोगों ने पढ़ाई नहीं की. प्रभु जी ने पूछ दिया हमको, आपको अभी 30 hours पढ़ना है. And devotees will be ready? बहुत हो गया आप लोग, उतना नहीं हो पाएगा. And that too he says that every day you have to study 9 hours. In 4 days you have to complete 36 hours. And they want a kind of balance, you understand? Generally, how many of you experience? Either we go this side too much and that afterward this side we go. Anybody has experience? Yeah, always. Either too much study and no preaching, or sometimes too much preaching and no study. Go to extremes. There has to be a kind of back and forth balance is required. See, this is required amongst devotees. People should be able to open their heart to mercy which is coming. They should be accountable to superiors and they should be visibly exemplary in the morning programs. They should be seen in the morning programs. And everybody's individuality should be respected. You don't try to compare devotees. Somebody may be taking care of Tulasi. Somebody may be going out as a preacher. Somebody may go, somebody may be give presentations. Everybody is unique. Listen well to people before, understanding and speaking. First similarly, consult in case any of you in leadership, you have mentors are not having idea what to tell. You can consult your seniors how to, consulting is a very good culture. Sharing what you know. These are all very good cultures. Say you went to Mayapur and brought a cake. You can keep in your locker and every day eat little. Or you can distribute. So which is better? Yeah. If you distribute, you are happy, your other friends are happy. If you're eating cigarette, people ask you, what is it you are doing inside your locker? Putting your head inside the locker, you'll say, cigarette. I will tell you after a week. Because after a week, cake will be over. Isn't it? So, share and enjoy. Huh? Seeing brighter side of a devotee and appreciating and encouraging. These cultures are going to be very, very helpful when devotees are living together in the same center. Huh? Trusting and being trustworthy. Okay, with all these things. So if you cultivate this, and then now we are going to come to authority-subordinate relationship. Huh? We will talk about how that relationship is about to be. Now, some of you may have a question, why follow authority? Huh? That is, please read it.
Imperfection. The Yamadutas closely observe and associate with Yamraj, but still they make the mistake of arresting Ajamin. When they are defeated by the Vishnudutas, they gave good reasons to Vishnudutas, still they are prone to mistakes. They thought they knew the law simply by hearing Yamraj give verdicts. An ordinary person hears the judge give decisions in the courtroom for many years and may think he is qualified now to be a good lawyer. Similarly, although they were under Yamraj, there is a difference between them and Yamraj. They are sinful and conditioned souls, but Yamraj is a Mahajan. Unlike Yamraj, they did not know the glories of holy name and the effect of chanting Namabhas.
See, once upon a time there was a veterinary doctor. Somebody brought a horse saying that the horse is having some difficulty in the throat. So the doctor put the torch inside and saw. And he said, oh, no problem. Wait a minute. Took one hammer. Whether he hit the throat. And there was a watermelon stuck in the throat of the horse. The watermelon went inside. And the horse felt very relieved, very happy. And then the man asked, oh, thank you. You immediately relieved the horse. What is the charge? 1,000 rupees. He said. When the compounder was standing next to him, he said, what? करो बस उसके लिए 1,000 रुपया ये तो सीधी सी बात है simple. So he placed the resignation to the doctor and said, I am going home. So he left and went and put his own board and started a new hospital. And he thought any horse comes, take a hammer and hit. So he hit the horses on the throat and 3-4 horses died. And he was behind the bars. So then the doctor went to see, Hare, how did you go behind the bars? क्या गलती किया तुमने? क्या गलती किया? आपने जो किया वही किया. Then the doctor explained to him, Hare, fool, how can you hit the throat? I didn't hit the throat, I was hitting watermelon to put inside. So this is the difference between doctor and the compounder. In the same manner, when mature devotees make rules, they know how to apply the rule. So there is a method of applying the rule. But when juniors imitate making a similar type of rule, then that can lead to problems. You understand, no? Like an example, I'll tell you. There was one manager. He came to me complaining about one devotee. He said, Prabhu ji, बार बार बोलने के बाद भी फॉलो नहीं करता है. आप उसको बुलाकर डांटिए जोर से, तब समझ में आएगा उसको. He said, then I called the devotee. And I asked her, why, what happened to you? We are not following. Then he told me, this manager told him to do something. And the devotee said, Prabhu ji, आधा घंटा में कर दूंगा, अभी करने का. अभी क्यों करना है? क्योंकि मैं बोल रहा हूँ, इसलिए अभी करने. Then he said, why can't I do a little late? Then he said, देखो, राधेश्याम ने मुझे मैनेजर बनाया. मतलब क्या, कुछ तो है हम में. तो बनाया मैनेजर. इसलिए उनके लिए वेट मत करो, राधेश्याम के लिए मैं जो बोलता हूँ करो, नहीं तो शिकायत कर दूंगा तुम्हारे बारे में. So this devotee was telling you, he dealt with me like this. I felt very irritated. इसलिए मैंने बोला नहीं करूंगा, बोला उसको. I got so irritated like that. He was telling. So in this way, the Yamaraj versus Yamaduta's comparison is given. Yamaraj is one who also make rules, but he is a Mahajan. Because Mahajan's heart is full of compassion. But Yamadutas have only passion. Therefore, I have to make compassion. Passion ko thoda kam karo. Then they can deal with all people properly. Of course, their passion became little come when they returned back to Yamaraj, complaining about the Vishnudutas, correct? No, he preached to them. That kind. So we should know that we may sometimes be thinking that I am applying the same rule. Why is it being rejected? No, we may think like that. But yes, we may be applying, but the spirit may not be followed. There is the importance of a rule and the spirit behind the rule. How you say, what you say is very important. Like in temple, we used to have a coupon for prasad. When people are coming, you can ask him, "Cross coupon hai kya?" So Krishna said, and they say, "Coupon kya coupon?" Haan. Udhar jaiye, that's a table there. You will get the coupon. Please pick up one coupon and come. And then you can join the queue. Neither if you peacefully speak, they will go and bring the coupon. But if you ask them, "Coupon kidhar hai?" "Kya coupon hai?" "Coupon hai kya?" "Kya log coupon?" आकर खड़े हो जाते हैं प्लेट लेकर खाने के लिए, कूपन के बिना आ जाते हैं, चलो कूपन लेकर आओ. You see the difference in the tone? Huh? Same thing. How you say? Now one fellow, of course this fellow was doing like this with many people, but one life member came and when he spoke to him like that, he did Rudra Tandav. Huh? He said, "Bulao president ko, kidhar hai aapke mandir?" So four people came running to my office. And I also had to run. And I saw a big crowd around. I said, "क्या हो गया?" कुछ नहीं हुआ प्रभु जी, कूपन मांगा, इतना तंग कर रहा हूँ. But then other people told, "प्रभु जी इसका टोन ठीक नहीं है, इसका बोलने का तरीका ठीक नहीं." तो बाद में उसको निकाल दिया दूसरों को. He told another devotee to collect the coupon, one sweet devotee. Because sometimes even if coupon is not collected also no problem, but goodwill should not be spoiled, correct, no? So how we say what we say. So that's what he's saying, that there is imperfection in our dealing. Read that.
Imperfection. Arjuna's reasons for not fighting were based on scriptures, but his knowledge was incomplete. Even Brahma and Shiva got bewildered in Brahma Vimohan Leela and seeing Mohini Murti respectively. Lakshman makes the mistake of judging Kaikeyi, Bharat, Dashrath, and the population of Ayodhya.
That means such big people also need some consulting superior. That means Lakshman followed Ram's verdict. Similarly, Brahma and Shiva surrendered to Supreme Lord. Arjuna, when he heard Bhagavad Gita from Krishna and became enlightened, correct or not? Isn't it? If such big people have imperfection and they need guidance, what is big of us? Therefore, we need an authority. Correct, no? So, without authority, we will be misled. Isn't it? That's a point. Then, read that.
An imperfect authority is perfect if he follows the perfect.
Now, some people say, "Prabhuji, if my authority is like Prabhupada, pure devotee, then I would follow." Some people say, "Kya kare Prabhuji, wo pure devotee nahi hai. Isliye hum follow nahi kar pate." Some people say like that. The answer is here.
In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada talks about how the devotees in ISKCON receive guidance. At the present moment, it has become fashionable to disobey the unimpeachable directions given by the acharyas and liberated souls of the past. Presently, people are so fallen that they cannot distinguish between a liberated soul and a conditioned soul. A conditioned soul is hampered by four defects. He is sure to commit mistakes, he is sure to become illusioned, he has a tendency to cheat others, and his senses are imperfect. Consequently, we have to take directions from liberated persons. This Krishna consciousness movement directly receives instructions from the Supreme Personality of Godhead via persons who are strictly following his instructions.
This is continuation. Read that.
Although a follower may not be a liberated person, if he follows the Supreme Liberated Personality of Godhead, his actions are naturally liberated from the contamination of the material nature. Lord Chaitanya therefore says, "By my order, you may become a spiritual master." One can immediately become a spiritual master by having full faith in the transcendental words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and by following his instructions. Materialistic men are not interested in taking directions from a liberated person, but they are very much interested in their own concocted ideas, which make them repeatedly fail in their attempts. Because the entire world is now following the imperfect directions of the conditioned souls, humanity is completely bewildered.
You see, if your senior is a faithful follower of his senior, and Srila Prabhupada and Guru Parampara, For example, he sleeps early, he rises early, he is visibly seen in all the spiritual programs, and he is chanting 16 rounds and following the four legs, and he's a faithful follower. It's not very difficult for you to observe a faithful follower over a period of time. To the degree he is a faithful follower, to that degree he is empowered by the Guru Parampara. Then you can follow him as you would follow a liberated soul. So Prabhupada is saying, in the absence of a liberated soul, those who are strictly adhering to the instructions of the liberated soul, they can be followed. Correct, no? So because, what happens with our mind? Our mind says, my Guru Maharaj is a pure devotee, I will follow him because he's far away. And he doesn't meet you and you don't meet him, which means you never follow him. And the person who is nearby, I won't follow him because he is still in three gunas, subjected to three modes. I won't follow him. So that means ultimately you are follower of a very famous four-letter person. Who is it? Mind, yeah. But what Shastra say? Arana koriho mane, catch the neck of the mind and throw it out of the window. Mind is a non-devotee. Like that, Bhagwan Thakur says, never follow your speculative mind, concocted mind. You need to follow somebody. But if your superior is following his superior, because your superior is not independent also. Correct, no? Like, our superior is not like Hiranyakashipu or Kamsa who wanted to be independent. Our superiors are appointed by their superior. Correct, no? Like Vena, for example, he was thrown off from the post. Why? He didn't follow anybody. He didn't follow God. He was an atheist. He didn't follow Brahmanas also. In fact, he tried to control the Brahmins also. So Kamsa, they are all like that. But our authority, are they like that? Think about it. Our authorities are wearing dhoti, kurta, tilak. They're Vishnu's devotees. They are not anti-Vishnu. First of all, they are not asuras. Correct, no? They are followers of Vishnu. They are Vishnu party or Asura party? They are Vishnu party. That's the first qualification they have. Second, they are also appointed by somebody or upar se utar kar aaye hain. Huh? Appointed. Somebody is appointed. That means you are disrespecting your immediate authority. He is also disrespecting your authority's authority also. You understand, no? Because your authority is going to be displeased as we neglect our authorities, immediate authority. So therefore, one should think like this. My authority is appointed by his authority, and he is the faithful follower of Srila Prabhupada and his teachings and everything. Maybe in behavioral traits, there are some idiosyncrasies, we call it. What are the idiosyncrasies? Some people may be, slow to respond. For example, sometimes somebody writes a mail and the fellow will not reply for 2 weeks also, some people. Correct, no? They're very slow to respond. You have to follow, then you get the answer. In some cases, the person has a correcting nature. Then he corrects you. Don't do this, don't do that. Or he's very strict. So these are some of the idiosyncrasies some leaders may have, due to which we develop aversion to follow. Correct, no? But we should know that person is a good person. He may have certain tendencies. Just like an apple may have 1 or 2 black spots here and there. You just take a knife, remove it, and the apple becomes eatable. Similarly, everybody has some small tendencies, nature, swabhava they may have. You just ignore that swabhava and see the good devotee in that person. Just like a moon has some black marks. But the moon is actually ultimately good because it gives light to the world. The stars cannot give light, but moon gives light. The Vaishnavas are like moon. One should see like that and go on because he is faithfully following. If you don't follow a faithfully following authority, then you are in big trouble. You are in a soup. Because you are following nobody. You are following your own mind. Very soon you will lose taste in devotion service by ignoring the authority. Yeah, go ahead.
The substitute for liberated person is one who strictly follows his instructions, becoming a spiritual master. This also means all kinds of Siksha Gurus. Anyone who is actually giving spiritual guidance and instruction to anybody else should be qualified in this way. So here Prabhupada emphasizes strict following of spiritual authority on the level of Shiksha Guru. Srila Prabhupada personally worked hard to establish authority, the leaders. He created GBC, then sannyasis, temple presidents to see spiritual standards. Srila Prabhupada's books are full of authority. Nobody can concoct. The control, however, is based upon logic, reason, and love, not on force. During GBC voting, Srila Prabhupada also raised hand showing his acceptance of GBC body as an authority.
Yeah. For example, the authorities who are making the rules, policies, with reason and logic, they should present the policies. Why we have instituted this policies. And then with affectionately, they should administer it, hmm, knowing when to bend it and when to keep it. So then such authorities are intelligent authorities because reason is required for the intelligence, and affection is required for the heart. When this is taken care, then the policies will be followed by everybody. Mhm. And if subordinates neglect such kind of authorities, gradually they lose taste in the devotion service because they eventually offend also, by their over a period of time. So that's why Prabhupada taught right from day one, you're very strict adherence to the superiors and respectful to superiors, grateful to superiors. So these qualities are very necessary. Even any path, for example, somebody is learning karate or kung fu, they have a great reverence for their teachers, correct, no? Somebody learning Bharatanatyam or Carnatic music or Hindustani music, or anything like that, somebody is learning, they never fail to quote the name of the teachers. They always say that it's because of the teacher I am what I am. Otherwise, I have no qualities. So it's all the teacher's mercy. Mm. They say that. So, which means in every field, people recognize the hand of a superior who is actually molding you and bringing out the devotee in you. Correct, no? Beautiful personality from within you. So one should not be ungrateful because the greatest thing condemned by Bhishma Pitama is ingratitude. It's called Kritagna. The Kritagna. Kritagna means you are aware of the good credits they have done for you. Kritagna. Krita means to actions. Kritagna means one who has forgotten what good things I have taken. Like you all are joining in the third semester here. Third semester, fourth semester, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, the 3 years you are living here. Correct, no? And some people, while living in the 3 years, you got very good prasad, you got morning program, you got brahmachari grahastas coming and training you all. You got very good training, spiritual training, clean habits, and you have been taken from the gutter of material existence and put on the beautiful spiritual world, spiritual platform here. So after 3 years of undergoing this training, when you are going out, how much grateful you should be. You should think that, oh, I am grateful to my mentor, I'm grateful to my counselor, I'm grateful to my authorities. You know, I was a very rough and tough person. Now I have been polished like a diamond now. Now I am going abroad or I'm going for some other job somewhere else. I am eternally grateful to these people. And to the heart, the degree your heart is welling up with gratitude, to that degree Krishna will awaken realizations in your heart. Your spiritual realizations, spiritual wisdom dawns only from a heart full of gratitude. On the other hand, I see some boys, we have a Shapat Tapas festival. You just take a new bag and go away. Thank you, bye-bye. Goodbye. Had a good time. You tell them, hey, Prabhu, what about your stay in the center? What about the prasad? I paid money for the prasad. For the accommodation, I paid rent. ये लोगों ने क्या किया मुझे? Some people are in that mood. So they don't understand what they have received. Because spiritual life is not an easy thing. Prabhupada says spiritual life in the material world, it's very challenging. It is. So how much energy, 200 gallons of blood they have put in molding you to become what you are now. It takes a lot of time. So therefore, respect and gratitude to authority is a very vital aspect of a devotee's life. One can't take them cheaply. Yeah, read that.
Consulting helps. Being absorbed in our seva and projects, we overlook dangers and obstacles for our spiritual growth. Senior authorities, due to their experience and mature vision, can direct us and offer timely help. We have lot of faith in ourselves, our judgment, character, and our own intelligence rather than others. We have to learn to put faith in those who represent Krishna, faith in Parampara, spiritual master, and scriptures. Srila Prabhupada welcomed ideas from devotees if their ideas were in line with Guru, Sadhu, and Shastras. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's story of old monkey's advice of fire in horse bath. Srila Prabhupada.
What is that one? I'll tell you the story. See, once upon a time, monkeys are living in the trees close to the palace. There was a huge palace. Because they were close to palace in the kitchen, sometimes they would get nice eatables also. Sometimes pakoda, bhaji, sometimes kaju, kismis, badam, pista. They would get such things. They were all enjoying the life there. Because just outside the kitchen, many things, vessels and will come for washing and everything. They would get very nice things. So the old monkey one day gathered all the other monkeys and had a meeting and told them, you see, there is a possibility that we always go to kitchen to eat some things. We may be sometimes caught in a big problem, he said. They said, what big problem? Regularly we have been doing last so many years, he said. No, no, no. You see, sometimes the horse, the horses which are in the stable, that may catch fire. Correct, no? If it catches fire, then the best medicine for that horses is, horse burn is monkey's flesh. They take the monkey's flesh and prepare one medicine and apply on the horse skin to cure that. Such a thing may happen. That is a possibility. How that will happen, he said. Because they said the sheep, the sheep also goes to kitchen. Just like we are going to kitchen, the sheep also goes to kitchen. The sheep has a lot of fur in the body. That may catch fire. Also correct, no? And then it may run into the horse stable, and the horses may also catch fire. All the monkeys laughed. क्या बोल रहा है ये बुड्ढा? इतना तो इमेजिन नहीं करना चाहिए. They were saying, इतना बड़ा बात मत सोचो. आराम से जीवन चल रहा है. So we cannot leave this place. If you go to forest, you just get some fruits there. You have to live like Babas. In the forest, you have to just eat Falahari Baba. Here you are getting many other items, bhaji, pakoda, samosa, so many things are there. They were not ready to come. So the old monkey left. And within the next week, some sheep went in the kitchen and the fire got caught. It went to the stable. Many horses were screaming. The news went to the king. King immediately called the Ayurvedic doctor, and doctor said, you need a monkey flesh for this. And all these monkeys were caught. Their bodies were cut to pieces and then medicine was applied. So they did not pay heed to the old monkey's good advice. Correct, no? Because sometimes you get something very pleasurable, but then the risk involved is very high. Correct, no? So Bhaktivinoda Thakur told this story that sometimes boys don't understand the risk involved. Like one boy was trying to preach to one girl in the company. So his friends told him, hey, this is not good. You are preaching, and then gradually she became like a girlfriend. He started calling her on phone and she was calling him. So the devotees told, hey, in our center, we are not supposed to keep any girlfriend, boyfriend. He said, no, I'm preaching to her. But then everybody knew that preaching was long ago, not now. After that preaching, he started getting into personal relationship. He would go to the terrace and he would speak. And then the matter went to the authority, and authority called him to the room and said, Prabhu, what is going on? You are getting close to that. No, Prabhu, we have decided to marry. Later on, have you told the parents? No, we'll be telling parents, not now. After 2-3 years, if we tell, it will be better. After we make money. But then he said, but after 2-3 years, they don't agree, what will happen? Things will become more complicated. You check with parents now itself. So the matter went to parents. Parents did not agree because different caste, different state, different language. They didn't agree. But these two guys were adamant. They wanted to go ahead, marry. There was a big halla-gulla. Later on, this fellow told her, no, we will marry, we will elope and abscond. So he was telling the devotees that I am a devotee, I will make her also into a devotee. But later he came, after she agreed to elope with him, then he came to know that she has affair with 2-3 more people. She tried one, then second one, and third one. This is the fourth one. She proudly said, Abhi jam gaya tumhare saath. But those 3 guys were also calling her repeatedly and sending message. And this boy saw some of the photos of her with the previous fiancés. My Lord, now he doesn't want her now. Hey, chi. You are having connection with 3 boys. Now she's saying, you stripped me away from my parents and you eloped. But now you want me to go back to parents. Now I'm going to go to police now. Huh? He is in big trouble now. So, later on, this boy was telling that, Prabhu, I did a big mistake. I didn't listen to the seniors. वो लोगों ने पहले से बोलते आए वो लोग छोड़ दो छोड़ नहीं रहा था. I was thinking I am smart. Now I understand I am a fool. फंस गया पकास में. So that is why consulting helps. You may be thinking I will secretly do something, nobody will come to know. Like that. Actually, sometimes boys think devotee girls are all pure. Devotee boys are pure, they are pure. Sab log pure. You are living, you are thinking like that. And then you will say, I don't keep girlfriend outside. I keep girlfriend only with a devotee girl only. Oh, be 16 down, maybe 16 down. I don't know. But even among devotee girls, if parents don't allow you to marry, what you will do? Correct, no? They can say, no. Tomorrow they can say. And also sometimes you may be thinking somebody is a devotee girl, but even amongst devotee boys and devotee girls also, there are people with extremely polluted character also. People have come from very nasty background. They have had affairs with multiple people. Now suddenly they have put tilak, they have bead bag, they look like devotee. You don't know their background. Are you one of the 12 sakshis who knows everything? Therefore, don't take your rope of your life in your own hand. Without involving parents, one should never do that. Your senior brahmacharis and senior grahasthas, parents, without involving them, always one should consult. Don't think about your own judgment, character, and your own intelligence. So, therefore, one should always seek advice and consult. Read that.
Mercy flows by following. We can develop humility and surrender by following authorities. Thus, we attract Lord's mercy. Roop and Sanatan Goswami met Lord at Ramakeli through Nityanand Prabhu and Haridas Thakur. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu standing next to devotee Garud to get Jagannath's mercy. Raghunath Das Goswami approaching Lord Nityanand's mercy to attain Gaurang's mercy.
Now, this is a very important principle. Roop, Sanatan, Ramkeli, they changed their Vesh, and everything. They directly didn't connect with Lord Chaitanya. They met Nityananda and Haridas. Through them, they met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Similarly, Mahaprabhu stands next to Garuda Stamba because he thinks that Garuda is a great devotee. Lord will definitely see the pure devotee Garuda. And if I stand next to him, I may also be seen. That is his mood. So, similarly, Raghunath Das tried to go to Mahaprabhu directly. Mahaprabhu told him, don't be a Markata Vairagi, like a monkey, like renunciate, go away. Go and stay at home. Then later on he came to meet, like in the picture you are seeing. He fell at the feet of whom? Dhyan Prabhu and got his mercy. And Dhyan Prabhu and all Vaishnavas blessed him. Then he could attain the shelter of Lord Chaitanya. From this what we learn, some of you may sometimes feel that we won't follow our immediate authority. We will follow his authority. Because he is more mature. So some boys say that, Prabhuji, unse baat ho gaya hamara. इनसे आपके अथॉरिटी के साथ. लेकिन उन्होंने बोला नहीं मुझे कुछ. आप पूछ लो उनको. Yeah. So this kind of talk some people do. This is a problem. Some people say, प्रभु जी हम जीबी जी से बात करेंगे आपसे नहीं. As if they are very big fellows. Because they know GVC doesn't come often. And very difficult to meet also. So that is, don't try to override your immediate authority. And also the superior authority is also what they should do. Like in Pune, for example, some brahmacharis may tell the manager, Prabhuji, hum Radheshyam se baat karenge. Whenever I will go back to Pune, when I come, they will come to me. I will immediately call the managers. Prabhuji, manager ko mat bulana, main aapse baat karna chahta hu. Nahi, unko saath mein le denge. I'll call the manager and then tell him that you should follow the local man. You cannot follow me. I am traveling across the globe here and there. He appointed the local man. उनको problem क्या है बोलो. Then many people say, उसके सामने कैसे बोल सकते हैं? Direct बोल अभी. Because only when the differences are cleared, then you can follow that. I always I keep things very open. Some people will write a mail to me and say, Prabhuji, I want to clarify one lay with you. बाकी किसी को बोलना नहीं है. मैं immediately put all the people in CC. हाँ? जो उनके बारे में है, जो चलेगा है, डाल दो उनका ना. Because otherwise, if you don't break the ice, don't talk it openly, then the matter, this will also write only to me, and they also write only to me. Then for me, it takes so much time to sort out, correct, no? I always tell them, learn to write to everybody, but in a very polite language, very respectable language. You have some problem with me, we have some problem with you, but you break it out in the email. So therefore, we have to go through the authorities and not ride over the head of the authorities. Reason?
It is our natural position to follow authority. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada quotes Srila Madhvacharya's opinion. Harir asmin sthita iti strinam bhartatvi bhavana shishyanam jagoro nityam shudranam brahmanaditishu prityanam swamini tata hari bhava utirita. A woman should think of her husband as the Supreme Lord. Similarly, a disciple should think of the spiritual master as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A Shudra should think of a Brahman as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and a servant should think of his master as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this way, all of them will automatically become devotees of the Lord. In other words, by thinking this way, all of them will become Krishna conscious.
That's it. You are aligning with the superiors, authorities, and everybody. You become Krishna conscious, which is not just they gave you some service, you did it, or they ordered you, you followed it. You become Krishna conscious. Because this is the method of becoming Krishna conscious, by being submissive, by being cooperative, by being respectful. You very easily progress in your spiritual life. And by being insubmissive, non-cooperative, and arrogant in dealing, you may be saying that I am wonderful devotee, Prabhu. I chant 30 rounds on Ekadashi day. Okay. But Krishna is not pleased. He said that you are arrogant fellow in front of the superiors, and then you are coming and doing drama now, chanting. You say like, read it.
To be an independent individual is a modern disease and is contrary to Varnashram. Kali's business is to defy authority. When people drive towards self-oriented independence, the result is they are filled with anxieties, general discontent, and loneliness. Kali's revolutionary solution is to seek progress through science, forget the pain with intoxication, movies, computers, sports, music, and sex. Just increase your self-esteem. After all, who but yourself is ultimately important? As soon as one forgets that he is a servant of Krishna, then he must alternatively develop false ego. Kali thus makes the false ego flourish.
Like the Bridgen Prabhu is saying. Bridgen Prabhu says Kali means independent mindset. In this age, there are 4 diseases of Kali-yuga. One is hypocrisy, quarrel, independent mentality, and rebellion. These 4 things. So, like you look at this family, husband and wife, she is thinking about her life and the man is thinking about his life, and he appears depressed also. And look at the child in between. This is Kali-yuga situation. Everybody wants to be independent, not follow anybody, modern day disease. So, because everybody is selfish. I, me, mine culture. That is Kali-yuga. Okay, till now I spoke about this thing. Why do you follow authority? Now, how to follow authority? Okay. Read it.
Clarify honestly. To be weak or fallen is not a disqualification, but to be duplicitous deprives us of mercy. To honestly express our concerns with the spiritual authority is not a sin. Dishonesty and diplomatic maneuvering of the authority's opinion is duplicity.
Yeah, so the example is given of Dhruva Maharaj. See, Dhruva Maharaj honestly told Narada Muni that you are telling me to behave like a Brahmin, but I am born in a Kshatriya family. So please give me an honest path to attain an impossible goal. I'll follow that. He was very honest in expressing. Whereas Hiranyakashipu wanted to trick Brahma and get immortality. Correct, no? That's the point. And also, Ardha Kukuta Nyaya means following only partial instruction. So, Ayati wanted to marry Devyani, but did not follow the rule that Shukracharya made. Ayati wanted to marry her. Shukracharya said, you can marry my daughter, but you should not unite with Sarmishta. But he didn't follow that rule. Similarly, Yudhishthira Maharaj was willing to endure 13 years of stay in the forest. That's an example of a pakka follower. Yeah. See, one boy was getting into love affair with a girl, claiming that he has blessings of counselor. That was a lie. Actually, what happened was, this boy was in love with the girl, and then the parents came to know, and the parents had a big fight. with the boys' parents. Boys' parents and girls' parents had a big fight, but then they came to know that the boys, well, they got very close. What to do? ठीक है, हम adjust करके चलेंगे, दुआ कर दो उनको. हाँ? Then the matter was taken to counselor, and counselor said, okay, क्या करें अभी? बड़ा गलती कर दिया तुमने. Then the boy is going around telling everybody, I am a simple boy. My counselor chose his girl for me. हम तो जो प्रभु जी बोलते हैं हम करते हैं. Because you want to be a good guy. Correct, na? There are people like that. They behave duplicitously. So the honest clarification is very, very important. If you clarify, so and talk about how to follow authority, first thing is this: always being honest in your dealing. Don't play a double standard role. Don't cheat the counselor or the authority. Yeah, respect whoever is appointed. Read that.
A neophyte sees only one Mount Everest, while a mature man sees the surrounding peaks. Example, accepting the authority of not only Guru but his other disciples as well. Seniority in spiritual life is based on surrender to Guru and Krishna, not just age. Example, oldest Markandeya Rishi respecting child Parasar.
Parasar was a 7-year-old child sitting in the lap of his father. But Markandeya Rishi offered him obeisances in the Sabha. Parasar asked, Markandeya Rishi, you are a very ancient sage. How is it that you are offering me obeisances? I am a small boy. He said, hey, you are not a small boy. You look like a small boy, but in realization, you have the realization of hundreds of sages put together. So he respected the wisdom, not just the age. That means, for example, one of the third-year boys may be made the authority here, say preaching coordinator or something like that. And there may be some final-year boys. There may be some passed-out boys also. So they may be thinking that, hey, he's a third-year boy. Yes, also too. We are all passed out. We have been here in this college for so many years. But ideally speaking, whether we are old or young, when somebody is put in authority, we respect them for that role they play, because they are representing the parampara, correct? No? Especially representing Prabhupada's mission. Like in the road, the traffic policeman shows like this, hand. And even a millionaire's car will stop. Millionaire doesn't say, this policeman is getting 10,000-20,000 rupees salary. I am a millionaire. He gets out and gives one slap to him. How can you stop my car? Can he say that? Why is he following him? He is representing government. He is representing government. Similarly, if your seniors have appointed somebody as an authority, you follow because they are representing. Correct, no? At the point, 16-year-old Sukadeva Goswami, when he was speaking, even his guru Vedavyas and guru's guru Narada, they were all sitting also. Similarly, when Sanatana Goswami was having a Bhagavatam study, at that time Mahaprabhu Shah suddenly entered the house. And Sanatana immediately got up. Seeing him get up, all the Brahmanas also got up. With folded palms, he welcomed. Now somebody may say, Mahaprabhu Shah is a cow flesh eater. Why should Sanatana respect him? He respected him because he is called Raja Maryada. He's holding a post as a king, so he should be respected. That means whoever is appointed in that post as a caretaker or a counselor or as a manager or as a project manager or as a overall coordinator, we should know that they have been empowered by their superiors and put in this post. We have to respect them. Avoid
Independent mentality.
Yeah.
A cynical attitude about the authorities should be abandoned, and we should sympathize with authorities' thankless tasks and responsibilities. They are also struggling sadhakas like us, and we should respect them for their sincere commitment to take such heavy responsibilities for Srila Prabhupada's mission. J. Krishnamurti's philosophy and Srila Prabhupada exposes his double standard.
Yeah. Somebody can Prabhupada and say, Prabhupada, J. Krishnamurti, Jiddu, they say, no? He says, don't follow anyone's authority. Prabhupada says, then why should you follow his authority? He says, don't follow anyone. That means he's telling you to follow him. You decide whether to follow or not. Don't follow him. He said. So, in this way, one should give up that mindset of being cynical about any authority. One should give up that mindset. Yeah. Ekalavi also was independent. He made a portrait of his guru, and despite guru telling him not to learn archery, he forcibly learned archery against the guru's will, claiming to be Drona's disciple. because he belonged to Nishada community. They were never paying tax to the government. When government officers would come, they would throw felt stones at them. So therefore, Dronacharya said, I cannot teach you, nor are you exhibiting any Kshatriya quality. You have a desire to learn. Skill you can learn, but practice of the skill, you will misuse it. Therefore, I will not teach you. But he went and learned it anyway. Later on, when he told, you are my guru, the guru said, now you give your thumb, so that you cannot misuse. Because he had clipped the mouth of a dog. You are unnecessarily creating trouble to such innocent creatures. So here is an example of independent fellow, Ekalavya. Nowadays in South India, I saw in one of the colleges, one boy was having Ekalavya notes. Ekalavya notes is produced by somebody where you don't have to go to college, you study at home and get marks. So similarly, Jiddu Krishnamurti or Ekalavya, all this. Yeah.
Forgive mistakes. A mistake meant
You know the picture, isn't it? Like Parikshit Maharaj forgave mistake of Shringi. Understanding he's a small boy who gave him because similarly, Prithu Maharaj forgave Indra. Which means if your authority sometimes committed some small mistake, you can overlook it. Understanding they have hundreds of things to do. Okay, even a chairman's pencil has an eraser, it is said. So, yeah. So, because manager's job is a very tough job. We are only seeing from our point of view, but we have to see from their point of view how much difficulties they take. See here, you see, somebody is throwing. And then people form groups. First one person throws and then people join and then people form groups like that. Prabhupada said. Then both will be quoting. Prabhupada said. It's like a big war. They're doing war. See, Prabhupada, what is saying? Read it.
we are preaching Krishna consciousness, the greatest platform of harmony, and if we dissent amongst ourselves and disunite, it doesn't look very well.
Yeah. Prabhupada said, requesting, please cooperate, please cooperate. Yeah.
Material nature means dissension and disagreement, especially in this Kali-yuga. But for this Krishna consciousness movement, its success will depend on agreement, even though there are varieties of engagements. In the material world, there are varieties, but there is no agreement. In the spiritual world, there are varieties, but there is agreement.
Because Krishna is the center there. Like one compass, you can have varying radius and making circles with the same center, concentric circles. That is spiritual world. Material world means clashing circles with different centers. Yeah, how to be an exemplary authority, that is going to come. Yeah. See, Prabhupada is walking, how everybody is smiling, you see. Prabhupada was such an amazing authority, he could keep everybody blissfully situated, you see. Yeah.
Attachment to Krishna, internal versus external growth. If we start equating Krishna consciousness with the external activities, then gradually we can become attached to comforts of position or the sense gratification accumulated as a result of some steady service. It is important for a leader to cultivate genuine spiritual attachment to Krishna.
Yeah. See, those who are in the position of authority, we have a royal group, correct, no? Who are all a part of royal here? Royal means the mentors, the OC, the PC, the preaching coordinator, the IM and the PM. Up to that, all are called, we call it as a royal group. We call it royal actually means those are managers, preachers, counselors, mentors like that. How many? Why only very few are raising hand? There are only 1, 2, 3. Or Ram Prabhu, only 3 are there? Huh? Yeah. You are all mentors, no? You've been How many mentors do you have now here? Huh? 40 mentors. 4th years and pass outs. Yeah. Who are the 4th years and pass outs? They may be giving lecture, but are they also mentoring? Mentoring, all of them? Yeah, correct. Then they are all part of that. The mentors are part of it. Yeah. See, anybody heard the term Royal? ROIAL, you heard it? Yeah. Radheshyam Outreach Youth Association for Leaders. I call it like that. So what is the difference between the email course and Royal? In email, 75% it is managing a center and 25% things from Bhagavatam. Huh? Whereas in Royal, it is 75% Bhagavatam and 25% leadership touch like that we give. Both are important. So now I do that once in a month. I have been doing it. Those who are in the authority, is like here is the topic is how to be an exemplary. How to be an exemplary authority. So to be an exemplary authority, people should see you more as a spiritual person than as a task, task generating master. Because you always see in your life, if you see someone as a spiritual person, your respect and reverence is more. But when you see him more as a job getting done manager, then you will not have so much of appreciation. That's why he's saying here, a leader should cultivate genuine spiritual attachment to Krishna. So let me give a few examples. Now, as an authority, I am trying to get some work done from one of you. I would say that, Prabhupada, some Prabhupada pastime, I can say. See, Prabhupada did this. Like Prabhupada got up on a Kumbh Mela time, chill morning. He went and took bath in the river. And then all the devotees also ran and took bath. Otherwise, they were hesitant. So Prabhupada was an old man. Still, he got up very early in the morning at 3 o'clock. So therefore, Prabhuji, I'm requesting you, you also get up early. That would be more pleasing to people. Oh, Prabhupada did that, I also want to do that. Now, if you tell a person, he's asking you, why I should get up, Prabhuji? Because I am telling you, you should get up. That is not very pleasing to people. Correct, no? So, if you can connect real life to Shastra or Prabhupada pastimes, that will be more pleasing for people. So, managing a center requires a spiritual consciousness also. There are two types of management: material management, spiritual management. Material management means a person thinks, I have this much money, I have this many people, abhi kaam karwa lunga main. That is material management. And spiritual management means Srimati Radharani, internal potency, she will conduct through me. And, she is the internal energy who will move mountains. She can do wonderful things. She can use me as an instrument. And on behalf of the divine couple and Guru Parampara, I am giving the services. And when they all do the service, I will be offering it to the Guru Parampara. It's a very correct type of consciousness. And then what is going to happen tomorrow, that I cannot say. I can only plan. But the plans have to be blessed by the Supreme Lord. If Lord is pleased, He may bless us. If Lord is not pleased, He may not bless us. It's in His hands only. So all of us are coming together so that Prabhupada will be pleased, the Acharyas will be pleased. Therefore, we are preaching and making devotees. Because Lord Chaitanya has said, Pratikare kare kiya koru diksha, bolo Krishna, bhajo Krishna, karo shiksha. So He's ordered all of us to preach, therefore we are preaching. So this is all spiritual consciousness. When you are going on Harinam Sankirtan, we are being led by who? Gaur Nitai. They are dancing in the front, we are dancing behind them. So this is the right consciousness. In what consciousness you do things is very important. To the degree you are spiritually, actually in my both royal lectures as well as email lectures, email you all know, correct? No? Email stands for Efficient Management and Inspiring Leadership. So these are things I have devoted a lot of energy in explaining these things there. So if you have a proper attitude and consciousness, then only you can be a proper authority. But in my travels, I found that many places, they don't get time to hear these lectures, especially those who are mentors and OC and IM and PM. So some of them brought some problems to me. I said, you don't know. I have spoken in email. They said, email you never heard. I said, because you have no time. Okay, so many things to do. There are almost 32 lectures, each 2 hours. And Royal, I'm doing once in a month, I'm doing. That is also going on. But these are all a blend of leadership management on one hand and Shastra on the other. How to combine both, correct, no? Because leaders should actually have a, like you can look at my spiritual master, Radhanath Swami Maharaj. If you see, He came in 1986 to Chapati, and the whole community developed like a big Vatavriksha, isn't it? Very huge. Now the yatra is going to happen now. I think that 10,000-12,000 people will come. They have a strict rule, only 16 orders are allowed, following 4 regs initiated and in counseling system. So he built the whole community, but very coolly, he will look like a spiritual person only. But managerially, he has given a lot of ideas. How to start this, how to start that initiative, and how to solve the problems. Even many of the things that I speak, I learned from him only. Many of the things, dealing with people, dealing with money, dealing with project. So he's a person who is a very good example of a powerful blend between spirituality and management. Because in many companies like Apple and Microsoft and all, he speaks lectures for big managers when he travels in the US. So he gives principles like this, very one principle he gives, you can take it and consider it deeply in your mind. So much can be learned. So this way, the leaders have to cultivate genuine attachment, spiritual attachment. Very important. Yeah, otherwise, otherwise they'll become unhappy. Correct, now? Because the roots have to be developed. That is spiritual roots. Otherwise, the crown, only post and position you get. Somebody is holding a big post but doesn't have the spiritual maturity. Correct, no? Then when a storm comes, the tree will be knocked off because the roots are not deep. It's roots. Yeah, be responsible, right there.
A leader is allowed to decide on matters that will affect the life of a group of devotees positively or negatively. Thus, he should be careful to always work under guidance of his superiors and be willing to take responsibility for all his decisions.
See, there are 6 hats, it is said. Say 6 of you are having a meeting. The blue hat is the leader. The white hat is very good in gathering information, facts, database and all that. The red hat comes up with, intuition and instinctive ideas, feelings. He may not give any reasoning. Whatever he feels, he will bring it out. He will say that, oh, Prabhu, this can happen. He will speak something for which he may not give reasoning. And green hat, this person has always alternatives and ideas. And especially the black hat is a fault finder. But we need black hats also. Because there are people, anything you propose, they will say, Prabhuji, ye ho sakta hai. Isme problem aa sakta hai. Anything you say, they always will pick problem. There are black hats. But what the green hat speaks is a solution to what the black hat will present. Like, for example, somebody says, Prabhu, this year we can also do one more program for 2nd year, 3rd year, 4th year also. Black hat will mean, Prabhuji, हमारे पास time नहीं मिलेगा. सब भक्त लोगों को फर्स्ट ईयर में ही टाइम चला जाता है. Then what black hat will say, Prabhu, we will not touch the regular mentors and preachers. There are other devotees who can coolly do the 2nd year, 3rd year, 4th year. In their own pace they can do. Like that idea will come from green hat. And the yellow hat, he will list the benefits of what the green hat presents. Green hat just proposes the alternative idea. But yellow hat is very smart in presenting what are the benefits we get by following a particular method. So each person has his own unique type of talent. So this is a very famous one in administration and management, 6 hat. Whenever you hold a meeting, you find this kind of people, different types of. So in this way, a leader can be responsible in gathering and galvanizing all the talents of multiple people rather than saying that black hat is is very negative. So throw him out of the team. So we don't want him in the team. No. Anyway, here he's talking about giving credit to Guru and not taking credit to oneself. All that, this is a very, very well-known phenomenon for you. Prabhupada gives all his credit to Guru. Prabhupada Swami gives all credit to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Bhakti Thakur also. And then the authority should control his senses. The authority becomes angry too much, or if he is misbehaving due to character problems in dealing with opposite sex, then nobody will respect an authority. Without being self-control, all of you repeat, without being self-control, without being disciplined, and without being fully obedient, no one can become successful. in following the instructions of the spiritual master. And without doing so, no one is able to go back to Godhead. So this is required. So how to do correcting without hurting? Huh? Say authority has to correct. How to correct? You see, we need the right attitude to correct. We should appreciate the service side of the devotee and then tolerate the shortcomings. So attitude should be one of friendliness and compassionate. Then people will accept the correction. If you are going to ridicule them or mock at them or yell at them, nobody will take it. So right attitude is important. And right authority, ethical authority means, one should follow oneself first before asking others. Walk your talk. And then spiritual authority means, like Krishna Arjuna had a spiritual connection, where the trust is strong. You can only tell your subordinates if the trust is strong. Also, if you are a manager for somebody, you can tell him to do it. Otherwise, you have to tell whoever is his manager. Like one of you find a fault with a devotee, you don't go and tell him. You tell the manager and he will bring about the change. Similarly, tactful and friendly, and be able to forgive the wrongdoer sometimes. This is a very big topic. This is a seminar in itself. Equal and senior restoration. Shaman used to tell me, you are a big fish in a small pond in Pune. When you come to Chowpatty, you are a small fish in a big pond. Because we are also small fishes, you are one of the fishes. Whereas in Pune, you are like a big fish in a small pond. So, therefore, it is important for yatra leaders or voice leaders to come together with their equals and seniors. Equals are friendly and frank, and seniors will catch your tuft and lift you, and juniors will catch your feet and pull you down. Because if juniors are below your feet, they will catch you and pull you. Seniors are above your tuft, they will pull you up. So you want to go up or go down? Up. Then equal and senior association is very important. And family atmosphere. The authority should create a kind of family atmosphere where people will be ready to accept the corrections. And it is packaged in a family culture, isn't it? So, like here you see Nityanand Prabhu and associates. Correct, no? Antarmukha Shishya. Okay. Integrity and accountability. This means keeping your promises made. Very important. Voluntary spirit. Prabhupada said, don't, crush their individual nature. Inspire voluntary spirit from the individual. Shelter first and demanding surrender next. Like Prabhupada himself cooked for, devotees, and then devotees were ready to obey him. Similarly, one who is an authority should think, how can I serve the devotees? And please serve them, please them, make it like a family. Then they will follow. Shall Prabhupada be? Any questions? Yeah, give the mic.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, like doing any managerial service or any service in the position of leadership, what should be the consciousness of that leader while he is using, like, is becoming little stricter so that service should be done, but along with what should be his consciousness from his deep of the heart so that service will be complete also, and
You should think that, I want the service to be completed. But if I am super rigid, then the relationship becomes strained. Correct, no? So let me think how I can politely at the same time firmly get the job done. So it's my duty. That's one thing. So while going, you have to prepare your mind. What am I going to talk? How am I going to say? That's very important. Without preparation, you go suddenly like a guerrilla warfare. Suddenly you go and say something, the others will say something, and there will be a heated discussion. We should avoid the heated discussion, number one. Number two, we also should know the situation of the subordinates. Whether is it the right time I'm demanding something from them? Can they do that? Or their exam is coming or something, their health is not good. Correct, no? So, and also sometimes they may be very junior also. With junior, we deal with them a little more carefully. They're very young. Grown-ups, they may do it. So their situation you should see. So initially prepare your mind to speak, not to blurt out. Secondly, see their situation. And thirdly, don't give a last minute assignment. Always give them some scope, some time. Hmm. Like you tell somebody, oh, is that a very, very important service to be done? They ask you, "But how many days are there? Not how many days. Today, right now only you have to do it." So they will say, "Prabhuji, पहले बोल सकते थे. वे अचानक बोल रहे हैं." Hmm. So don't give a last minute assignment. Or if you are giving a last minute assignment, you be prepared for them to reject it. And then you tell them, okay, I am giving you a last minute, Prabhu, गलती आपका नहीं है. I will try from others. Either you can say. So in this way, we have to be very empathic. Empathic means learn to understand the feelings of others. And also, one leader was telling the boys, अगर आप लोग चपाती रोल करने के लिए तैयार नहीं है, cook is ready to do, but the chapatis will be limited. आपको हर एक को सिर्फ 3 मिलेगा बस. अगर आप लोग रोलिंग करने के लिए तैयार हो, then you all can take 8 also, if you want. So now the boys understood that if we want, Prabhu ji का गलती नहीं है. He has given us both options. So 3-4 days they said, take we will adjust with 3. But then they really wanted more. Then they were ready to form a team. They went to the manager and said, Prabhu ji, abhi ek schedule banao. Then we will all do it. So in this way, Yadechasi Tata Kuru. Krishna says, after speaking the whole Gita, in case Arjuna said, I am not going to fight, Krishna would have spoken the Bhagavad Gita again once more. All the 18 chapters. He was ready for it. Correct, no? These are some things we can take care. And also one more thing, whenever some devotees you feel are not very cooperative, they're like little troubled children, then you can spend some time with them outside the scope of seva. Call them and sit with them and talk to them, find out what is the difficulty, how to help them. Like some children have some disease in the body, they're always murmuring, crying, like that. Similarly, some devotees, you find that they are having some attitudinal problems or they're having some difficulties. You can polish them outside the scope of service instead of catching them only when you have service. Correct, no? These kind of things you can do. And, yeah, give the mic, Chen. The one there, one there. Have the mic?
Thank you for this presentation.
Okay.
So, how to understand that if the rule is made, means the boundary of is it fanatic or not? Because if rule is very strict, it looks very fanatic. But if the rule is made lenient, then it won't spark the fire of bhakti. So how
one example you can say, which is because without knowing what the rule you are talking about, I cannot say how much lenient we can be in that. There are certain rules which cannot be lenient. And there are other rules we can relax. Yes?
Like regarding suppose day rest.
So?
Day rest.
What is day rest? And day rest.
Day rest.
Okay, correct.
So how to see what exactly is the limit on that?
Actually, one should not sleep more than 15-20 minutes max in the day. And you have to sleep 6 hours at night. But imagine one of you came somehow that got late, became 11 in the night. Or here you all get up at 3:30, I think. 3, yeah? Yeah, 3. Then you have to sleep at 9. So you slept at 10:30. Then in the daytime, you may have to sleep for an hour at least. So it depends on that. But you should always try to sleep early. Whenever you cannot, occasionally you can relax that rule and then sleep for an hour in the day. It's not very helpful. But if you're sleeping at also 9 in the night and getting up at 3, daytime also 2 more hours you are sleeping. And then somebody may tell you that, Prabhu, it's not very good for you. 6 plus 2, 8 ho gaya, 8 ghanta. It's not very good. There was one boy, he would start preparing his bed at 7 o'clock only in the night. And he sleeps at 7, gets up at 4 in the morning. In daytime also afternoon he sleeps for 2 hours. That means in Vichuguna. That means night he slept 7-8 hours. And in daytime another 2 more hours. Prabhupada says people are approaching close to 12 hours of sleep. That means polar bear. Because polar bear sleeps how many months in a year? So 12 out of 24 hours means? That's matching with polar bear consciousness, correct? No? Then he has to be told, Prabhuji, take care. Don't become polar bear. So, therefore I'm telling you, it's all case to case you have to see. The rule is there. First of all, you put the rule on the notice board. Then afterwards, case to case, you have to say. What was the question? Another question, yeah.
Like sometimes we are being in a senior position or mentor position, then sometimes the boys under us, they don't reveal our heart and they have some problems, but they don't reveal, and that problems coagulates, goes on and
Because the trust level has not increased.
Yes, true. So how to increase that bonding and trust level?
Yeah. That takes time. Mentorship cannot be legislated. It's case to case, individual. But in case later on the problem becomes a little more bigger, they bring it to you, then you can help them solve it. But then you tell them, if you brought it to me earlier, I would have helped you more. Please feel free to express yourself. And also that's one thing. Another thing, when they express the problem, how do we respond? Is also very important. If we respond very rashly or angrily, then they fear to open up next time. Correct now? Or you can tell them, I think you are undergoing some problem, you are feeling hesitant to talk to me. If you want, I can talk to my senior. So you can directly tell him and take help. Either you can tell them. That's another thing. What was your question? Yes. Like this coming.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Maybe sometimes due to introvertness, we fail to express our heart to our superiors, but this leads to lack of relationship between the counselors and the counselors.
Correct.
So what step we can take to increase that relationship?
Actually, those who are introverted are very good in writing letters or mails. You can always convey through writing, because writing helps you to organize your thoughts. Correct, no? Because you may not open up and speak, but if you write half a page or 1 page, something nice, and then you send it like a mail, and then later on you can talk. That will help. And also, it's not wrong to be an introvert. Some people are introverted, some people are extroverted. That's your swabhava or nature. As long as you are doing devotion service nicely, you're happy and satisfied. When being introverted is a problem, when you have a problem and you are unable to reveal it, that's not very good. Then at least you can write a mail and express it. It shouldn't happen that we are internally suffering a problem and we don't know how to express and take help. As always, we should take help from someone else. One person we can't express. But if there are no problems, you can just accept it as your swabhava and go on for life. Being introvert. I've seen sometimes 2 introvert devotees make good friendship. Both of them speak very little. They don't speak much. That is also perfect. They speak as if releasing pearls from their mouth. You can be like that. That's your nature, no problem. Now you all have to go to college. I heard 8 o'clock, correct, no? Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. There is a hand up. Like mine? Anybody, no problem.
In my center, I just rejected 2 to 3 services to a senior devotee, asked to do me. Because it is some other reason. Now he is not reciprocated me. I have asked the forgiveness, and I'm doing all the services that he is assigning to me. But still, he is not showing the love and compassion like before he was showing to me. What to do?
So did you find out what is the reason for that? What is the reason?
Because I rejected there are 2 to 3 services here.
No,
And-
2 to 3 services you're doing, anybody will appreciate you.
No, rejected.
Rejected it. Okay, the reason I will tell you, say, now when you are a small baby, you are only drinking breast milk, newly born baby. Then afterwards, little rice, little chapati. Now you may be eating 5, 6 chapatis. That means your eating capacity increases. Similarly, service capacity also should increase. So, for example, one new boy comes and says, Prabhu, I'm chanting 4 rounds. Hari Bol, you say like that, correct, no? You give a pat and say, Chhat mala karna, badhiya. If you go and say, Prabhuji, I'm chanting 16 rounds, ये क्या बड़ी बात है? ये तो आप तो 4 साल से कर रहे हो. ये क्या 16 मतलब क्या बड़ी बात है? They will say like that. Correct, no? In the same manner, you rejected 3 service and you accepted 3 service. But what the senior may be feeling, he is capable of doing all 6 services. That much है इनके पास, स्टैमिना है, टाइम भी है, कोर्स भी उतना टाइट नहीं, अभी नौकरी भी मिल गया उनको. He is now finished the course, he is working. Evening ऐसे इधर उधर घूम रहा है, कर सकता है सेवा. लेकिन 6 करने के बजाय सिर्फ 3 कर रहा है, he is very measured है, ये नहीं करूंगा, उसको दे दो, इसको दे दो, then he may not be very happy. Because as you grow in number of years, your superior's expectation also grows. They expect you that now you can't be like a baby like before. Now you are supposed to be taking more responsibility in preaching, in managing, in organizing, and things like that. That's one reason. Like, when you are a small boy, you wear a diaper. Imagine after you become 25 years old, still you are wearing another diaper. And, that diaper period is over. Now we have to take up more responsibilities. Because just like weightlifters keep adding weights, so we also have to increase our service. So one reason. Another reason, many times we all expect that, superiors show affection, but we don't know. They may not be aware that we need so much, encouragement, affection. Many people ask me, "Guruji, how do we know Guru is pleased with us, that we are doing service?" Once I asked my spiritual master, "Maharaj, how do we know that you are pleased?" He said, "If I don't give you correction, I am pleased." So, but then we also expect that, okay, you may not give correction, but you have to say some nice words. You did this. Some people need that. One of the best ways for you to get appreciation is to be making a regular reporting. Like I report to GBC about the US preaching. Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. 4 quarters. 3 months we report. So when you write letter, they also reply back, appreciating. Wow, this quarter, many nice things have happened in America now. I appreciate. So by being accountable, we get appreciation also. Because many times our superiors may not know how much volume of service we have been doing. So last 1 month, probably these things I have been doing. Right? No? Yeah? Yeah. Yes. Those who are getting late can go around 5 minutes again, sir.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, yes.
Actually, Prabhuji, what
Any of you have to rush to class? Any of you? Yeah. Okay, yes.
just to many times happens that there are issues with
There are issues, yeah.
yes, and there are services ongoing, but the problem happens is that there is some problem, but actually one is not realize that there is problem and he is not consulting the authority. So how can one quickly understand that he is in suffering, he should need help?
And he is aware of the problem, or he is also not aware.
Hmm.
He is also not aware of the problem.
He himself is not aware of the problem. And later, when after some months, or when somebody finds it and then tells him, then he realizes, oh, he did the mistake. This is the mistake from that time. So
Okay.
how can he immediately understand that problem and immediately solve?
Some people are not so alert and so smart to detect the problem on time. After the problem becomes big, only they can see. So as supervisors, others can watch in case they are able to see the problem. They can tell him, "Hey, Prabhuji, some smoke is coming. Let's see. Just check it." They can say that. But if others don't see on his own, as financially, sometimes we have incurred losses financially. Sometimes some damage has happened to some vehicle. Mistakes happen. Yeah. We should try our best to detect the problem on time. For that, regular surveys are required. Correct now? Like, for example, say one boy was giving class, DYS, and the way he was speaking was putting up the boys. And the boys are going away, for example. You gave him 20 boys, and now only 2 boys are remaining to come for Sankalp. So instead of waiting till it comes to 2, between DYS and Sankalp, we can keep watching how each group is performing. Correct? No? I'm just giving an example. Till we wait at the last damage created. In between, we can stop things. Correct? No? Like that we can do. No? How to find balance between studies, seva, and sadhana. How to see which is important responsibility. All are important. So there has to be a fixed time for you. Like, for example, morning for sadhana, evening for studies, and daytime for the college. But college also is not every day, full day. For how many of you, some other days of the week, it's only half a day? How many of you? So I see some of them, yeah, it's half a day, correct, no? Some other days. So then you can go to library. Instead of coming to room, you go to library. And there you get 3-4 hours. Because there's a study culture. If you come to room in the afternoon here, somebody is sleeping, you also go to sleep. Huh? And you think, अरे पूरा दोपहर शाम पूरा पड़ा है, अभी क्या करना है, बाद में पढ़ेंगे, correct ना? Then you may go to sleep. But if you go to library, everybody is seriously studying. You will also study, correct na? In this way, evening, some of the days you have to go for seva, preaching. Say 2-3 days you go, another 3-4 days you study. One has to have a good balance. You have to plan a time management chart, how to balance all the three. But I told you a general program, morning for sadhana, evening for studies, and daytime for college. And the seva of preaching, book distribution, harinam, all these things in the weekends you do. And those of you who are in mentoring is a tough service. You have to be really super smart in managing your time. Otherwise, you can be dragged in one direction. Yeah. Anybody else? Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for wonderful lecture. Prabhuji, you have studied Bhagavatam many times for many years. So, what are the core principles you have find that we should follow, and what are the, we can say, summary of Bhagavatam?
Oh, Bhagavatam's main essence is love God, love all. That means the whole Bhagavatam is about awakening love for God. Kunti is offering prayers, Gajendra is offering prayers, and the Dwarkavasis are welcoming Krishna, and Hastinapurvasis are sending off Krishna. You will find Bhagavatam is full of pastimes of the Lord and the devotees, and the love of the devotees for the Lord. That's the main thing. Another thing in the Bhagavatam is love for all who are parts and parcels of the Lord. We should not injure them. We should not trouble other living entities. Titikshaya, Karunaya, Maitriya, Sakala Jantushu. Dealing with all living entities properly. Knowing them to be connected to Krishna. These two are the main themes in the Bhagavatam. All over. All right?
Just like you have always seen that, just like in drama, some people are acting as a demon or some are acting as a devotee. So, like that in Bhagavatam also, all are devotees. Just like Hiranyakasipu and
We don't see him as a devotee, because if you see him as a devotee, you can't learn any lessons. Just like in the green room, Mantra and Bharat may be having a tea and talking coolly. But on the stage, Bharat is angry on Mantra for behavior, correct? No? So we don't talk about the background thing. He's a Jai Vijay from spiritual world. That's all right. We know it. Right now, we should see him as a demon and Prahlad as a pure devotee, and we have to learn from that episode not to be a demon. That should be our focus. And
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, sometimes when we get services, not personal, not alone, means with other devotee we have to do. So sometimes it is the case ki
you have to work with them.
means he is not doing jitna karna chahiye. So we have to do on his behalf also. But
so you can understand that all jivas are not at the same speed. They can do service. ठीक है, इसका अभी मारुति कार है, Benz car है. You are Benz car, he is Maruti car. What can we do? You can't become angry on the Maruti car. Hey, useless fellow. इतना स्लो आ रहा है. उसका मॉडल ही ऐसा है उसका. वो मॉडल में उतना ही स्पीड जा सकता है. So then you do your part as fast as you can, and you can accept whatever he is able to offer. वो पता चल गया अभी आपको. अगले बार अलॉट करते समय उतना ही अलॉट करने का उसको.
But Prabhuji, sometimes उनका पार्ट भी साथ में करने के चक्कर में we are losing our time and all.
That you have to tell your senior. That Prabhuji अभी वो इतना ही कर पा रहा है, पूरा नहीं कर पा रहा है, उसको कॉम्पनसेट करने के लिए और एक दे दीजिए. Either you can take. Correct, no? Yeah. And how to be cautious that being a leader, we set a right example. As we grow, we are given a little independence, due to which our sadhana decreases. And often we give reason that this is because I have a lot of services. How to keep sadhana good? The best way to keep sadhana good, even after becoming a senior leader, is to sleep very early. I sleep at 8:30, get up at 2:30. Or I sleep at 9, get up at 3. So, the earlier you get up, the golden hours of the morning, that's your private time. Nobody will disturb you in the early morning. बाकी लोग सो रहे हैं, कैसे डिस्टर्ब करेंगे आपको? See, if you sleep at 8 o'clock in the night, 8 and 2, huh? 8 to 2 you sleep. Actually, 8 o'clock if you sleep, even 1:30 you can get up. Even 5.5 is enough because you don't feel tired. Hmm? Like there is a train which comes to Pune at 1:20, it comes from Hyderabad. I catch that only. Right? I sleep at 8 and 1:20 the train reaches. And I go to temple and all day I can work. I don't feel tired. Because up to 12 sleep is the main sleep, 12 or 1. No? That's the main sleep. But if you sleep early, 8 to 1 is a very good sleep. So early to bed and early to rise gives you ample of time. And that time can be used for your sadhana, reading and all. And daytime you can't read much because life will be very busy. No? Probably this voice has helped us a lot to grow in our bhakti and develop some love for Krishna. For your sincere endeavor to create this place, please tell what is your expectation from an ideal voice pass out. The ideal voice pass out boy, you should go somewhere and start another voice center. No? Wherever he goes. And wherever he goes in the world. See, our motto is what? A voice for every college. Voice for? So how many colleges are there in the world? So many voices we have to make centers. Just like you have a center here in IIT here. We have to make like that. So there's one boy from SRM, he became president of one UK temple called Belfast. He became a temple president there. Similarly, there are people, Uddhavananda Prabhu, he became vice president in Germany. So these people are running a whole ISKCON temple. If you can run an ISKCON temple, just like you can see Nam Prem Prabhu is running the whole Dhanbad temple. So either you can lead the temple or you can be like a Brahmacharya ashram leader, like Damodar Chaitanya Prabhu. So you're leading the Brahmacharya ashram or leading a temple. Why? Because Brahmacharya ashram means they have to recruit more and more people. Right now? Similarly, temple leader means you're running a whole ISKCON temple in that city, wherever you go. These type of services are wonderful. If you can't do that, at least be a preacher and cultivator wherever you go. Don't just be a mediocre devotee, working in an IT company. I made my money, my wife, my children, and then my home. हमारा चल रहा है बस ऐसा मत कीजिए. Yeah. What are those most important points we should follow while preaching to freshers in Krishna consciousness so that their interest keeps increasing and they don't discontinue? You have to know their need. If they need a little scientific touch to speak things in science which are matching with Vedas. And if they have a friendly need, they are not so scientific minded, but they need a friendliness. Be friendly with them. Get to know them, tell about them, share stories with them, be supportive. And if they have academic need, put them in touch with somebody in the same department from whom they can get notes, books, help, guidance. That will be very good. And if they are holding some club in the college, they want some guidance and tips for the leaders. You all know so much you learned. So you can share with them some leadership tips, time management tips. You have to know their need by talking to them and then accordingly give support. Then they will it will match. Then they'll be inspired to stay. As you said about feedback, it should be anonymous, but if somehow that guy came to know who complained and he starts writing, uniting people against that guy who gave feedback, then what should be done? Actually, if somebody gave feedback and that leader came to know, he's calling him. अभी मुझे पता चल गया, आपके हैंड राइटिंग से पता चल गया है, आपने ही फीडबैक दिया था. Some leaders don't leave, they catch. And then they take them to task privately. Then what to do? Then you can tell the leader, Prabhu, आपके संबंध में मेरे मन में अनेक बुरे भावनाएं थी, लेकिन ये प्रश्न करने के बाद वो सब मिट गए. अगर हम एक्सप्रेस नहीं करते, हम आपके ऊपर बहुत अपराध करते थे पहले. ये अपराध भावना को मिटाने के लिए मैंने प्रश्न पूछा. ऐसा नहीं कि आपके अंदर कुछ दोष है, आप तो महान है. ऐसे बोलने से वो शांत हो जाएगा. करेक्ट ना? Because I need some platform to express. If I suppress, I am getting animosity in my heart. I'm getting bad feeling towards you. So I expressed it to take help for myself, not that I am pointing fingers to you. Correct, no? Every individual has a false ego which makes them resistant to authoritative behavior. So how can one overcome these obstacles to achieve Krishna consciousness and inbuilt humility and surrender in them? Yeah. Actually, whenever there is a resistance coming from inside you, inside your heart, towards an authority or anything like that, you have to analyze and contemplate and think, why am I opposing this? As I told you, everybody in this world wants absolute independence. There is one fellow, he will never follow his superior. And his superiors are telling him, ये मत करो वो करेगा वो, ये करो बोलेंगे मत करेगा वो. He was like that. But then when he goes to subordinates, he will tell them, आपको full surrender करना है मेरा. Whatever I say, you have to fully surrender to me. So from subordinate, he wants absolute surrender. When it comes to his superior, he doesn't surrender. It's a wrong paradigm, correct, no? So we also have to ask, now I am refusing to surrender to my superior. Tomorrow, if I start a voice, if my people don't surrender, मेरा जीवन कैसे रहेगा? Think about it. अगर आपकी इच्छा है कि आपके लोग आपके बात को सुने, तो आपको क्या करना चाहिए? आपके बात एक बार मैं पर्सन दे रहा था, ऐसे 500 लोग बैठे थे. तो उसमें मैंने पूछा कि आप में से कितने माता पिता हैं जिनको लगता है कि हमें आपके बच्चे आपकी बात मानना चाहिए? आप लोग दो हाथ ऊपर कर रहे थे, मानना ही चाहिए है. तो मैंने पूछा उनको, क्यों ऐसे लग रहा है आपको? तो हम तो बच्चों की शुभचिंतक हैं, उनकी भलाई चाहते हैं, इसलिए हमारी बात को मानना ही चाहिए. जैसे मैंने टोल them, ऐसे कि भगवान भी इच्छा करते हैं कि आप उनके बात माने. Then people say, ये तो हमने सोचा ही नहीं कभी है. अभी सोचो अभी. सर्वधर्मान मामेकम, यही तो भगवान बोल रहे हैं. आप लोग माला ले लो, अभी जयमाला जप करो, क्योंकि भगवान बोल रहे हैं. अगर आप उनके बात मानोगे तो बच्चे आपके बात. ताली बजाया सब लोगों ने. अभी लोगों को ये लगता है कि ये लोग हमारा शरण जाना चाहिए, लेकिन हमें भी देखिए, इन पूना टेम्पल almost every week some senior devotee comes there. तो एक ब्रह्मचारी बोला मुझे, राधेश्याम प्रभु, मैं आपके प्रवचन में बैठता हूँ, कारण मालूम है, क्योंकि आप भी आपके बड़ों के प्रवचन में बैठते हैं, इसलिए मैं आपके प्रवचन में बैठा हूँ. नहीं तो हमको बहुत कुछ काम है, सेवा है आने के लिए. आई एम रेडी टू सिट बिकॉज यू आर ओबेइंग यूर सीनियर्स, देयरफॉर आई विल ओबे यू. अगर आप उनका नहीं सुनेंगे, मैं भी आपका नहीं सुनूंगा. वो करेक्ट बात है ना? इसलिए वी हैव टू नो दैट if I want to earn the position that people will follow me, then I have to follow my superiors also. Correct? No? Now it's getting late for you all. Huh? And last pick for the mic.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम. प्रभु जी, आपने एक बीच में एक एग्जांपल दिया था एक लव जी के ऊपर. एक लव
देखा.
हाँ, उन्होंने अंगूठा दिया था गुरुदेव जी को. तो प्रभु जी, मेरा बहुत छोटा सा डाउट है कि उन्होंने एजुकेशन नहीं लिया तो उनका अंगूठा कैसे गुरुदेव जी मांग सकते हैं?
हाँ, क्योंकि अक्सर ठाकुर इसका स्टेशन दिया है. अक्सर ठाकुर ने बोला कि जब एकलव्य एक कुत्ते के मुंह में तीर चलाया था, तब कुत्ता रो रहा था, तब अर्जुन ने देख लिया उसको, द्रोणाचार्य को बोला कि ऐसे किसी ने किया है. द्रोणाचार्य तुरंत बोले कि ये तो गलत काम, इसका काम है, एकलव्य का काम है, क्योंकि वो उसको मैंने मना किया, बोला कि मैं नहीं सिखाऊंगा, लेकिन खुद का मेरा एक पुतला बनाकर गुरु के रूप में स्वीकार कर, खुद ही सीख लिया उसको. तो वो उन्होंने बुलवाया उनको. जब वो आप पहुंचा एकलव्य बोला कि क्या आपने किया क्या कुत्ते का? बोला हाँ. बोला तब इन्होंने बोला उनको, यही मैं बात बता रहा था आपको पहले. हाँ, अगर आप जैसे लोगों को सिखाया जाएगा, इसका गलत प्रयोग होगा. करेक्ट ना? कैसे सीखा तुमने, बताओ, ऐसे पूछा उन्होंने. वो बोला, आप तो मना किया मुझे, इसलिए आपका एक पुतला बना दिया. अगर आपको ही गुरु के रूप में स्वीकारा, रोज आपको दंडवत प्रणाम करके आपसे ही मैं सब सीखा हूँ, ऐसे बोला उन्होंने. तब गुरु जी बोले, ओहो, तुम मानते हो कि मैं तुम्हारा गुरु हूँ, तो तुम अंगूठी दे दो मुझे, ऐसे बोला. तो ऐसा अंगूठा तो निकालने से क्या होगा, वो तीर नहीं चला पाएगा, इसका उन्होंने क्यों किया इसे, ताकि वो दूसरे जनता का नुकसान ना कर सके, ये उनके उद्देश्य था। बाद में युद्ध में कृष्ण ने ही उनको मारा, एकलव्य को, because Eklavya belonged to a community which was rebel against the ruling government. They were not paying tax, they were independent, and he was wanting to learn something against his swabhava. Right, no? Clear? Sometimes they receive chastisement from authority that may be due to others' mistakes. Then, whether we feel depressed or transfer the chastisement to junior. What should be our proper behavior in that situation? आपके अथॉरिटी को आप समझा देना चाहिए कि प्रभु जी आपने चास्टमेंट दे दिया मुझे, ठीक है, थोड़ा आपको समझा देते कि गलती हमारा नहीं है, किसी और का है, शायद आपको पता नहीं चला, किसी ने गलत बोल दिया होगा आपको, मैं था ही नहीं उधर सिचुएशन में, कोई और था, अगर आपको डाउट है तो उसको पूछिए, कैन आस्क हिम. So when he chastises you, you don't become angry and authority. अरे क्या मूर्खता से हमको पकड़ रहे हैं आप, थोड़ा अकल होना चाहिए आपको, ऐसे मत बोलना. Don't say like that. Instead, what you say? Authority. Wait a minute. Before you complete the chastisement, let me tell you, I was not here on it. Somebody else has committed the mistake. The mistake is not done by me. You can ask that devotee, he will tell you. Like that you can say. Not that you accept the chastisement and say that ये तो authority गलती से मुझे दे दिया, तो मुझे डिलीवर करना पड़ेगा किसी और को, जूनियर को दे दिया जाए. बेचारा वो जूनियर रोएगा, वो हमने, अगर आपके पास आकर रोएगा वो, प्रभु जी मैंने गलती किया ही नहीं, आपने डांट दिया मुझे, तो आप क्या बोलेंगे, मुझे भी ऐसा ही मिला है इसलिए दे दिया. इसलिए क्लैरिफाई करना बहुत जरूरी है. लास्ट क्वेश्चन, इसका था हाथ ऊपर कर दीजिएगा. हाँ,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
yes.
Prabhuji, you told the one example of child when he was touching the fire, then he understood the lesson that he does not have to do this again. But there are certain cases when we have certain habits at past, and we gave it up at after being in Krishna consciousness. But again, after sometimes it comes out. Then how we can understand that after learning the lesson from here, we can again not commit the same mistake.
You can again come also to this world. Prabhupada says the possibility is there. Prabhupada says, I have a conversation with Prabhupada. My Prabhupada says that the jiva is never curbed. Curbed means your free will is not taken away any time. It's always there. Whether you are liberated, whether you are conditioned in all the stages, the free will is always there. Therefore, that means we have to always use the free will rightly. Somebody says, why should God give this free will? He should take it away. That means he says, make me a robot. Says, you are not a robot, you are a living being. Just as Krishna is Swarat, he has an ocean of free will, and we have minute free will. That will never be taken away. It is said, realization should be taken based on, decision should be taken based on realization. How to know difference between intellectual conviction and realization? Because sometimes realization also gets changed based on different experience and association. But realization is gifted by Krishna. I don't know who told you this, that decision should be based on realization. Actually, in my understanding, the decision we do is based on knowledge. What you get in Guru Parampara. For example, why did I accept Prabhupada as, Prabhupada's organization ISKCON? Because I read his books. I found them very sound, very logical, very convincing, logically, fitting, and also the process is very nice to practice. And I am fully convinced that what Prabhupada is presenting, the presentation of the absolute truth done by him, is very, very complete and wholesome, unlike the path of jnana, karma, yoga, and all. So I studied the books, I heard his lectures, and I saw the people who are living what he is teaching. Then I dedicate, not that I'm waiting for some realization. It's actually the knowledge that is convincingly presented by the Guru Parampara. And the realization that will come, that may come later. Now, do you all wait for the realization to come to join? To join this organization and become a devotee. It's a knowledge. Knowledge, nahi jnanena sadrisham avitram miha vidyate. Krishna says that, chitvainam samshya. So he says that this knowledge is something very sublime and it enlightens, dissipates the darkness. And the darkness is gone. And when the knowledge is born, then we say, Divya Hriday Kashit. Prema Bhakti Yaha Hoite Avidya Vinashita. So even in the early stage of knowledge, you can commit yourself chanting 16 rounds, following 4 regs. And then as you do that, then the Divya Hriday Prakashita, the knowledge will even further turn into realization. And you continue practicing with realization, then it will lead to revelation. Revelation comes top down. Realization comes from the heart. Those things are higher stages. I don't think we have to wait for that stage to commit ourselves. With sound knowledge, which is satisfying to your, intelligence, and it's appealing to you. Prabhupada said, blind following and absurd inquiry, both are condemned. 4.34, Prabhupada said. Don't do blind following. Follow reasonably. Ask questions. So therefore, we have a session called Can Faith Be? So once you get reasonable faith, you can commit yourself to the practice. Yeah. So now can we do Mangala-arati? Yeah. Yeah, one last question.
Guruji, so when we are staying in association, so sometimes devotees at night say like, Guruji, please wake me up this time so that I can get ready for the Mangala-arati. But when we do start waking him up, then he moves like this, that he had woken up and he has like I did followed what he said, but after he did not wake up and after missing the Mangala-arati or whatever time, he woke up and become angry. Yeah. So whether to accept that service from him because it's being regular.
You switched on the light first?
Sorry, please.
Did you switch on the light?
No, he has some other area to where he slept.
No, in that area, did you put on the light?
No problem.
No, you should put on. Because once you put on the light, bright light is on, then you massage his feet. First you massage, if he doesn't get up, then give a pinch. So these things, if you do, a person will definitely get up. Yeah. And then you also show the clock. When he opens his eyes, you show the clock. Prabhuji, now it is 3:50. 10 minutes bacha. Because if the room is dark and you tell him to get up, he will not get up. One of the first things I do, as soon as I get up, I put on the room's light switch. I switch on, then put on the geyser on, both. Then I wind up my bedding and everything after that. So light is on, it's difficult for him to sleep. He will say, "Arey, light kaun on kar diya? मैंने on किया, bro, आपके लिए. आपको उठाने के लिए on किया हमने." He can't scold you. In case he himself puts it off, then you can tell him, "कभी मैंने उठाया आपको, आपने switch off कर दिया, मैं क्या करूं?" Correct, no? You try that next time. Okay? Shri Prabhupada ki